What happens when a Russian submarine suddenly surfaces near Gibraltar, leaking fuel and smoke into one of the world's busiest choke points? Is it a simple malfunction, or the silent start of something far more dangerous beneath the waves? In a world where noise equals vulnerability, and silence decides who holds the upper hand, could this single incident expose the hidden chess game between Russia, the US, and NATO? A Russian submarine suddenly surfaces near the narrow waters of Gibraltar. Reports describe smoke and fuel leaking from the hull of the Novorossiysk, a diesel-electric submarine once considered one of the black hole class for its quiet profile. To casual observers, this might look like nothing more than a mechanical failure. But to NATO surveillance networks, every unexpected movement beneath the surface is a signal. And within hours, maritime patrol aircraft, satellites, and warships adjusted their orbits, courses, and patterns to keep eyes fixed on the incident. What seems like a single submarine in distress becomes the trigger for a wider story. A reminder that under the calm blue surface of the ocean, silent conflicts never truly stop. Welcome to Novastra Defense, where we break down modern military technology and explore the hidden dynamics that shape global security. In this series, we turn our lens toward the depths, where submarines operate unseen, yet hold the potential to alter strategic balances. And to begin, we must ask, when a submarine leaks, does the world hold its breath? The story of the Novorossiysk is the entry point, but the real theme is much larger. Submarines are not simply steel tubes underwater. They are instruments of deterrence, surveillance, and sometimes intimidation, designed to slip silently beneath the waves and remain unseen for weeks, even months. When one surfaces unexpectedly, it reveals just how fragile that silence can be. NATO's quick response after the Gibraltar incident illustrates a broader truth. The undersea environment is a stage of constant competition. Every sound wave, every sonar ping, every unusual radar track matters. And while this single event may fade from headlines, it exposes the fact that in the 21st century, navies treat the deep ocean as a front line, not a backwater. The question, then, is not only what happened near Gibraltar, but who truly masters the art of hiding in the oceans, Russia or the United States and its allies? Comparisons between the two sides reveal an invisible arms race. On Russia's side stand the Yasin-class submarines, modern nuclear-powered vessels praised for their stealth and strike capabilities, and the Kilo-class boats, especially the improved variants often dubbed black holes, for their ability to vanish from sonar screens. On the US and NATO side, the competition is fierce. The Virginia-class advanced multi-role subs designed for both attack and surveillance. The older but formidable Seawolf-class optimized for deep strikes and stealth. And the massive Ohio-class strategic giants that carry nuclear deterrence across the seas. The battle is not fought in broad daylight with aircraft carriers or missile launchers. It is measured in decibels, in the faint hum of a turbine, in the way a hull glides through thermoclines in the ocean. To put it simply, in the silent war, noise equals vulnerability. And so the central question remains, which navy is quieter, and which side can sustain silence longer under the crushing weight of the deep? Yet submarines do not operate in isolation. The modern battlefield is not only land or sea or air, it is all of them at once. The war in Ukraine showed this clearly, with missiles like the Neptune striking targets deep within contested waters. Maritime patrol aircraft, such as NATO's P-8 Poseidon, circle overhead, while satellites and drones sweep the sky and surface vessels deploy sonar nets below. A submarine that once might have roamed freely must now navigate through a layered web of surveillance. Every movement risks exposure. For commanders, this changes the calculus. The deep is no longer only a hiding place, but a contested zone where multiple domains converge. When land-based missiles threaten from the coast, when drones track patterns from above, when destroyers sweep the waters with sonar beams, submarines can become both hunters and hunted. The pressure builds, the room to maneuver shrinks, and the risks multiply. This is where strategy becomes less about weapons and more about windows of opportunity. Multi-domain pressure can create narrow openings, but it also magnifies the chance of mistakes. And mistakes at sea are never small. When submarines shadow one another, when a sonar ping lasts a fraction too long, when a vessel surfaces unexpectedly in a crowded strait, the line between surveillance and confrontation grows thin. History is full of near misses, from Cold War collisions in the Arctic to tense standoffs in the North Atlantic. In each case, diplomacy became the ultimate tool to pull back from the brink. That truth remains today. The oceans may host stealthy machines and powerful arsenals, but beneath the hardware lies a more fragile reality: human judgment, political calculation, and the need to prevent silent missions from turning into loud disasters. And so, as we examine the rising presence of US and NATO submarines near Russian waters, and the responses from Moscow's own fleet, the core question is not about technology alone. It is about thresholds. At what point does silent shadowing cross into open confrontation? At what moment does a routine patrol turn into a flashpoint? The red line is not drawn on the seabed. It exists in perception, in decisions made under pressure, and in the willingness of leaders to pull back rather than push forward. Taken together, these moments build a story arc that stretches from the Novorossiysk leak in Gibraltar to the silent hunters of Russia and the United States, to the multi-domain pressure shaping today's maritime strategies, and finally to the delicate red lines that define peace and conflict. The payoff is clear. Submarines may be hidden from sight, but they are never absent from global strategy. Their movements are tracked, analyzed, and anticipated. Their silence speaks loudly to those who listen, and their presence beneath the surface serves as a reminder that the most dangerous contests are often the ones we cannot see. What begins as a fuel leak on a single vessel can ripple outward, sparking questions about deterrence, surveillance, and balance of power. It is this hidden dimension, the unseen chess game beneath the waves, that we will continue to explore in this mini-series. So what do you think? Are submarines the ultimate weapon of deterrence, shaping events through their very invisibility? Or do they represent a silent risk, a pressure point that could one day spark escalation? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to Novastra Defense to follow the next chapters of Sub-Wars, and continue with us as we decode the mysteries beneath the oceans. Remember, everything discussed here is hypothetical, drawn from open-source analysis and history, not prediction or advocacy. Our mission is to explore, to understand, and to reflect on the complex world of defense and strategy, not to glorify conflict. Because in the end, the greatest power lies not in the machines themselves, but in the choices humanity makes when confronted with the silence of the deep.